Okay, this is the last discussion, how to find domain, and you can see here um, what I suggest for you to solve this is by making a line number. Okay, it will help you uh, to prevent any mistakes that can happen when you are dealing with any inequality. Okay, and then uh, the other thing that I need to mention is how to build new function from old functions. So for examples, if your old function is just f of x, the blue color here, if you are dealing with the translations, for example, you are plus the y-axis plus 2, you need to move your point 2 points upwards. And then if it is minus 1, then you go downwards 1 point. And if you have x minus 2 like this one, meaning you need to go from the center to right 2 points. Okay. If this is plus, then you go to the left. If you have a multiplication of a constant here in this function, remember that if this is linear, then this is your gradient, which means you can stretch this 3 times than the original one. That's the additional view. And then this is also important here. Okay, if you have 9 minus 3 divided by 3 plus 1, the middle part is division. This is subtraction, addition. We need to make division as our first calculation. So 3 divided by 3, it's 3 by 3, it's 9. So it's 9 minus 9 plus 1, it's 1. So remember this PEMDAS, okay, parentheses, exponent, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, and if it's all the same, you go from left to right, okay? And here is, if you have a plus b plus c is 0, and you have this kind of algebraic expression, and you want to know what does this mean when you have a plus b plus c is 0. Okay, so for this case, for this problem, see this a squared, b squared, c squared, it's obviously it's quadratic. And see the below one here, a squared minus bc. Okay, our objective is, can you make any form from this top one? We manipulate and looking for this particular one. Okay, if you see, the clue here is this bc. Okay, so if you remember, if you have a plus b squared, then you can expand it like this, a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Similarly, if you have bc, you have b squared 2bc c squared. Okay, and then if you want to make in terms of our case here, b squared plus c squared, we can make b squared plus c squared, okay, minus 2bc. You can input a squared, we can input a squared plus b plus c squared minus 2bc. Okay, and then our b plus c is actually from this part. We move our a here, it's become negative, so that's why you are seeing negative a here, and it's becoming 2a squared minus 2bc here. And factorizing 2, we can have 2 here, and then a squared minus bc, exactly the same as the bottom one. So you are canceling those two, and your answer is 2. Okay, and now try to solve this one. Yeah, you can also use the conditions and use that to plug into your cube, right? Okay, yeah, that's also fine. Okay, what I want to show you is exactly as this one online student said, using the a cube plus b cube formula. But what does that mean? Okay, let's start with this a squared plus b squared. Okay, let's start with this formula. I can write this formula as a plus b, a minus b, correct? Okay, you agree? So let's check. Okay, this become this, this, and this. It's minus, so it should be minus. Okay. Anyone remember? Uh, we have cube like this. Hmm. Mm-hmm. If I just want to make a plus b outside, then what's the inside? A squared minus ab plus b squared. Hmm. Can you make the same thing from here goes to here? Okay. So, but 8b cube, okay, 8b cube, it can have several possibility of number. Okay? It can 2b, 4b, right? But we need to check whether it makes sense or not. So what is our a and b? 4b, 2b, 2b, and plus 1 over b. Okay? And then this should be squared, right? So to make it squared and the same as this cube, we have to make it 4b squared, right? And then what else? Minus 2. The easiest way to remember is this 2 is from, um, if you see here, okay, a plus b here, this is negative ab. Right? You need to multiply this. So when you are discovering 2b plus 1 over b, then when you multiply 2b and 1 over b, it becomes 2. Okay, and then uh, plus, right? Okay, okay, is this correct? We can also check for b. Uh, okay, I think it's correct, right? So I have now 2b plus 1 over b, 4b squared minus 2 plus 1 over b squared. Okay. But now what will we do now? Remember you have conditions here, the first condition. So 4b squared minus 2 plus 1 over b squared is, right? So the whole thing here is, so that's why your answer should be 0. Got it? Difficult to understand? But what I want to ask you is, do you familiar with this a cube, b cube? No. Okay. Then new knowledge for you. You have um, later in actually you know that the power rule in calculus, right? I'm I haven't gotten far yet, but when you have x squared, you derive it's 2x, right? How to prove that um, in some manner, you need to use this kind of formula. Later in calculus, if you have calculus, my class, okay, I will later describe how to prove that. Okay, actually there's one more question, but that is just for yourself. You can try. It's I think not this difficult. Okay, you have square root. Okay, 3 minus 2 square root of 2. You have this square root. Okay, and then you have 5 different options. And the question is, which one has the same value? Square root 3 of minus 1, square root 2 of minus 1, square root 3 minus 2, so on. Okay. You can try this at your home. Basically, you are using some formula from polynomial, either quadratic, if you want to cube, I think just quadratic. Okay. Yeah, online students. Good, good, good. Keep these questions. You can try solve it by yourself. Another way, if you find um, if you want to find the proof, then you can use calculator. Calculate this one, and then calculate the same value. I think that's also one way to prove. But I want to prove it in algebra. Yeah, yeah, okay. Okay, but I will skip this for now because I need to go forward to the next. Uh, the next section will be about quadratic formula. Actually, it's about polynomial, but I want to start with quadratic formula. So you have ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. This is just the standard form. Okay, how to solve quadratic formula. Okay, solve meaning you need to find the x as your solution. X is equal for what? Okay, how to solve quadratic functions? How many methods you know from previous knowledge? Or well, the formula. The before that formula, what will you do first? Yes, yes, that's correct. Okay, okay, that's the name. Factorize. And number two, uh, hmm? What do you mean? Why you need to find delta? Well, what is delta? Ah, this is the determinant, but that's the similar with the quadratic formula. But before quadratic formula, uh, there is complete the standard, the let's say the square, or we say the standard form. But it's not really that useful. But it's useful if you are trying to solve some conic section problem. But I will tell you later. And the last part is the quadratic formula. Okay. So quadratic formula x is equal, or x, yeah, equal long way division. But what is the top one? If b plus minus square root of 4 AC, right? Okay, 4 AC over 2a. Okay, good. You remember. Do you know where this formula comes from? Okay, later we'll talk about it. But at least you now have these three methods. Actually, what I suggesting is factorize and quadratic formula. So if you see any quadratic functions that can be factorized easily, then just factorize. But if not, then use quadratic formula, and maybe you find here you find irrational, like square root of 5 or other number, or complex, like in case before in complex numbers. Okay, let's try to see um, some problems. Okay, let's start with the, if you have um, solve for x. Okay, I just want to know how you are factorizing this. Okay? If it is on the x squared plus, because it's on the x squared, it's easy because both factor has x, right? But how about 3x? I want to know how you are solving this kind of quadratic function. I have several methods, but maybe I give you what, in my experience, which one is the fastest way to get the solution. Yeah, the 30 should be in the multiplications. The the middle one should be in the, if you add. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you find? Not yet. Okay. Yeah, yeah, good, good, good. I mean, the approach is good, but it's not correct yet. You fine? Okay, good. Now, okay, I will write 3x squared plus x minus 30. Okay, so usually I draw this table, okay, and then I put in some obvious number or factor. Okay. From 3x squared, I have possible number is 3x and x. There's no other way, right? So maybe I put 3x here, put x here. And then I need to find some number here. When I try to multiply 3x with this and adding x with this one, it's become plus x. Okay. And these two, when it's multiplied together, it should be negative 30. So I have at least this, right? Plus minus, okay? Or then 3, okay? Or maybe 15 to, so there's a lot of factors here. You can try 6, 5, and just changing the this row. So 3x, maybe I need to calculate with, because it's 3, and you need to have negative, maybe 3, or maybe this is negative 10. It's the same, negative 30, but when you are multiplying, this is 9, this is negative 10, it's negative, right? Or maybe we need to change the sign. So 9x plus 10x is plus x. It's correct. Then we can write our factor. Okay. So it's just the same trial and error like you do, but it's more organized. Okay. You have just make sure that this is correct. Okay. It also can be x, 3x, but the way you are trying your number is only this part. Unless you have maybe like 8, it 1, 8, 2, 4, right? This has two possibilities. It depends on how you factor the number, the coefficient in the front. But if it is only like 3, it's only have like 3 and 1, or 2, 2 and 1. If you want 1 or 2, it doesn't matter. The rest is depends on this table here, this row, the right side. You change the number this side. Okay. So when you have this equations, you can write it down, the solution. Okay. Yeah. No, no. The middle is from this part, multiply this, and adding this. So 3x minus 3, negative 9, right? 10x, 10x, right? 10 minus 9 is positive, okay? So you need to make sure, beside this multiplication makes 30, you need to make sure the middle one, when you are diagonally multiply those numbers, it's all the quadratic. You can use this way. Unless you can factorize. You cannot factorize, unless, okay? Any factorized quadratic functions, you can do it this way. Okay, okay. Because most students, they are just trying making this, and then, oh, it's not correct, and then try another one, and then you have a lot of trial and error, right? When you make this table, you are reducing your time, right? You're reducing your time to solve this problem. Okay, you just need to think of this coefficient here. If you get fixed this coefficient, what you need to do is just find all the numbers that have like make sense to this equation, and then solve it. Okay, what do you think? Is it faster this way, or faster? Yeah, instead you are trial and error, like, oh, maybe 3x, oh, what number here, what number here. It's if you're writing in paper, it's waste of paper, right? And make, oh, it's wrong, oh, and I need to make another one. I think this one is better because you are focusing on just this last one here. Okay, correct. Okay, I will explain to you the completing the square. Okay, what does it mean? Okay, so let's say I have this 4x squared equal. Let's just say this is the equation. So solve for x by using completing the square. What completing square means is you have a plus b, like from before. I told you this is the expansion form, right? And when you have only this one, you have this, okay? When you're changing the form like this, we can also call this is the completing the square. So we are making the expansion form into this form. Okay. So what we are going to do here, if you see here, I think we can divide by 4 first, right? 14, right? Yeah. And then what we are going to do is we need to group all the x squared, x group as one group. Okay. And then I will make space here. And this is my negative 14. Okay. So what is happening here? So imagine this should be your perfect a squared plus bx plus c. Imagine this is your perfect expansion form of the quadratic function. So if I want to change this, and or let me say this is Yeah, just make it that way. So what we are missing in this space is the constant, right? And how you need to add the constant. To make it, when you square, when you have squared like this, it can be expanded easily. So what we are going to do? What are you going to do here? So the idea, okay, you divide the middle one, divide by 2, it's 5, right? Squared, 25. At both sides. Okay. The left sides, you can make it x plus 5, right? Squared equal 11, right? And then you can solve this through square root both sides. X plus 5 equal plus minus square root of 11. So you have x is, you have two cases, minus 5 plus minus square root of 11. So before you are going to use that crazy quadratic formula, you can use this, okay? Especially when you see it's not, maybe not easily to factorize. You can also use this case. So this is called completing the square. Square. Yeah, 36. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Correct. Correct. Okay. Um, okay. I will go to the next page, and I will have uh, this is the quadratic function. Okay. So let's try this one. Uh, how to prove your quadratic formula? It starts with make this a disappear in the left coefficient. So you need to multiply by 1 over a. So what will happen is x squared plus b over a x plus c over a. Zero. Okay. And then, okay, and then remember when I move this negative c over a to the right side. Okay. Remember how you are doing your completing square before? Let's do it this time. So you have b over a divided by 2. So b over 2a. Okay. And squared. Okay, don't forget to square. So plus and plus both sides. Okay. And this part, I can write down, this is x plus b over 2a, right? Squared. And just leave it as negative c over a, just square it, b squared for a squared. Okay? Let's solve the rational one first, this right side. So let's just write x plus b over 2a squared, okay? And then make it simplify for, this is 4a squared, okay? Then 4a squared a, it should be 4a. So let's use minus 4ac, and then this is b squared, okay? And then let's square root both of this, okay? So this should be x plus b over 2a equal, the top one should be in b squared minus 4ac, and I can remove the square root from the downside, so I can write this as just 2a. So your x, this is plus minus, don't forget. So x, move this b over 2a, going to the left side, because it has the same denominator here, 2a. So it should be just negative b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac. Okay, that's where your formula comes from. Okay. Now at least you can prove to your friend or anyone that's just learned the quadratic formula, and then you can just prove it to them. Okay. It's understandable, right? Okay. So this is quadratic formula. I still have some time left. Okay. I think I have one more method to factorize. I don't know whether this is suitable for you, but let's check. Okay. So let's try to factorize 4x squared minus 5x minus 6. Before, I told you that we can make some table here. And then we can input some value. It can be 4x, x, or 2x, 2x, right? And try that first. If it is, doesn't work, try the other one. Maybe you can try the 4x and x first. Okay. So the idea is you need to find number on the right side. When you multiply them, it will be -6. And when you are adding these diagonal multiplications, it will have the value of -5. So it can be 2, -3, 1, -6, or -6, 1, or -3, 2, right? And try that number. See if you can find the answer. Or maybe 3, or plus minus here. So 3x, I think should be 3 and -2. So 3 and -2. When you multiply 4, -2, -8, and then plus 3 is -5. So you get this factor. Okay, sorry. Okay. My opinion, this factor method, this factorized method, this one is it's already easy, but I have another way. The way. So the same functions, we can check this one and make it. This is called the AC method. Okay, so what AC method means? Remember that your expansion form is in x squared plus bx plus c, right? So you know your a, b, and c. AC method means the AC. Okay, so a need to be multiplied by c. So 4 multiplied by -6 is -24. So I will write here -24. So this is the AC. This is b. B is -5, right? Okay. So I need to have some number here. When I calculate the number, when you add the number, it will be -5. When you plus or multiply the number, it will be -24. Okay, I think it's because it's 24 is 5, maybe it's 8 and 3, right? 8 and 3. So to get negative should be bigger in 8, like negative. So -8 and 3. Okay. What does it mean? So -8 and 3 is actually from this 5x, right? So I can rewrite the formula or the equation. So for x squared, -8x, okay, plus 3x, -6, okay. What are we going to do here? Okay, try to group this one and group this one. So 4x, it will be x, -2, plus try to factorize if you can factorize. Also x negative 2. Okay, we have both similar in x minus 2 here. Okay. Similar in, so you have both have x minus 2. Let's factorize this x minus 2. So x minus 2 just for x plus 3. Okay, the same. Okay, you can also use this one, but I'm too lazy to draw this x, so I just go for the first one. But you can also use this. You can also use this. Officially, this is not really like an official method in math, but it can help you because actually in math or in calculus, you don't need to be like if you are telling to factorize, you just need to make the factor, right? You need just to make this bracket here, and if it's correct, and that's the answer. Yeah. So it doesn't matter which method you are following. I hope it can also help if you are not really get into the factoring and confuse some numbers, you miscalculated all the numbers, and this is, I think, easiest to calculate. Okay? You can also use this one. There are a few other methods, but I don't think it's quite um, handy. So, okay. Okay, so see if you can solve the, okay, I will give you this one. Um, okay, okay. Okay, I have this question now. Why suddenly change to like squares, cube, something that, and you need to evaluate. Okay, can you try to solve this one? What is the answer? Um, we have time 10 minutes, yeah, around 10 minutes, around 10 to 15 minutes. If you get right, I will give you a bonus point. I hope it's motivates. You want to use calculator? Yeah, you can use calculator. You want to try calculator? So you can try. I just want to know how you approach this kind of questions. Of course, the problem is the annoying things is you have the square root with the cube, right? That's the biggest problem here. See if you maybe remove it, but I'm not sure how. But if you can remove it, it will be better, right? Get the answer? Yeah, try. It doesn't have any decimals, right? Yeah. Okay, in basic math, actually you'll get pretty standard um, math for preparing for calculus. But because the standard in Taiwan is, I think, quite high, I've checked with the local students how they are doing some works. Yeah, they are pretty much in average really good. So you need to try to achieve the standards. I know background, okay? Your background, you have different background. Maybe you haven't learned some chapters in math, but I do hope this course can help you to enhance your math in general. And this question is really, really hard. It's really, really hard. If you check the answer through calculator, you will find the value is exact value. There's no decimals. Usually, if you find something that really good, it means that the question can be solved through some algebraic formula, any operations in math. Because the calculators they are using the concept in math, right? So we should be able to do that. We should be able, but it seems difficult. What's the first step, right? No. This means all of this is 1/3. But if that's the case, then you cannot really remove that, right? It's like you have squared, you need to expand, right? Like you have AB squared, you have to expand. But 1/3, I don't know how to expand that. It's difficult. Getting lost. um, to solve this, it's quite long. Okay. Okay, online students who get the answers. I don't know to prove it, but can you show how? It's too fast, I think, because I didn't see you how you're working your works. Maybe you find in the internet. Maybe you using calculator. You will see if you're using calculator, you find it's two. But how if you use only algebra? So sorry, so I will not include the bonus point for online students. Okay, the idea is if you have these equations, it's not equation. So let's make it an equation. So make it x to help you make equations. Make it x. Okay, it's cube here. Okay, but obviously, if you want to remove the cube, you need to raise to the power of 3, right? If you raise power of 2, easy, right? A squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So how about 3? Yeah. That one. So we can do it, right? At least to expand the form. So if I have, I remember, yeah, okay. I remember to easily make sense of all coefficient in any polynomials. I'm using the Pascal triangle. Yeah. So this is for the quadratic, this is for the cube, and then the power of 4, 5. If you are having difficulty, you can memorize this. So if you have a plus b cube, then it will be a cube plus 3, and then plus 3 again, but different in the variables, and then plus b cube. Okay, good. Yeah, you put in the 7 plus square root of 52, a plus b. Okay. So because we have squared, we have 2 here. So some of the numbers you will see, you will have like squared or 2/3. Yes. Okay. So I will write. I hope the page is still enough. So this should be 7 plus square root of 50 plus 3. And then to make it easier, I will write here square root of 7 plus 50. Don't forget this is 3 and then squared. And then the other one is the 7. Wait, square root 7 minus 50. Okay, plus 3. Same way. Now it's the uh, negative 50 squared. And then plus 7 minus square root of 50. And it should be still equal x cubed. Don't forget the x. Okay, we have, at least we have 7. Okay. This one, why become all the expansion? Okay, so basically, this is A, this is B, right? So this is A cube, this is B cube. Okay, this is 3. Let's say this is A squared B, and then this is 3. A this is AB squared. Okay, I'm just switching this. Okay. Okay. So from here, 7 plus 7 is 14, and I have plus square root of 50 minus square root of 50. I can canceling that out. So I still have 14. Let me write. Let me write in. Let me write the square like this. I will write the bracket to make sure I didn't make a mistake. That's the first one, and then the second one. Okay. Phew. It's quite crazy. Still, this is equal x cubed. Okay. Okay. 3. Square root of cube here. This is also the same. The same. Okay. This is cube, 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 also the same. Okay. Remember, we can also write down in a big chunks of square root. Can I write this? Hmm? Which one? To multiply, yeah. Yeah, it's 3 outside here. So this is the inside. Wait, only the this one. Yeah, this one. Okay. Okay. Okay, I can do this, right? Right? It's the same square root of cube here. I can make it a big chunks and then multiply the inside altogether. And I'm also similar with this one. Okay. What's interesting is you have 7 plus and 7 minus, right? And that you can manipulate through this, right? You have a plus b, a minus b. You can have this squared, right? Yeah. So here you can have 14. This should be what? 50, negative 50, right? Plus 49. Oh, I forgot the cube here. So it's negative 1 cube. Because it's cube, we can factorize the negative 1. So it's negative 3. We still have the leftover, the 7 plus square root of 50. And then the same thing here. So negative 50 plus 49 is negative 1. So negative 3. It's x cubed. Okay, what is going on here? What will happen? What will you do? Yes, you have this one. Okay. If you see from the original question, it's the similar thing, right? It's the same thing. except it has 3, right? And it is all equal what? X, right? So 14 minus 3x minus x cubed is 0. And you can solve all this crazy with this cube formula. Okay. The way I see it, okay, you have 14, okay. The answer is you need to check some value. Okay. You need to check some value, either from plus minus 1, uh, plus minus 14, plus minus 2, plus minus 7. How do I get all this number? It's from 14. All the possibility for to make it 14 is from all this number. And there is no other number that can be checked. So I think this is, I don't want to get involved to factorize with the cubic or using, there is quadratic formula, there is cubic formula, but this is actually for next level of math. But to solve this, you can just check some point here. And because it's not too crazy to solve, not too crazy to calculate, you can check 1, 14 minus 3, 11 minus 1, it's not 0. Maybe 2, 14, 6, 8. 8 minus 2 cubed, 8. It's 0, right? So yeah, the answer is 2. Okay? So that's why when you impute your calculator, the answer is exactly 2. Okay? So what I want to make sure is you can have like crazy formula. What can you do with algebraic operation is you can make it as you please. Like for example, x, y, as long as you make sure that you are doing it in a consistent and a correct way in terms of math. And yeah, you can do it like this. It seems not possible to do, but if your calculator can compute something, then you can also do the same. Okay. And also remember in math, you need to find pattern. Okay. You need to find something out of the box. Okay. You need to think creative. It doesn't similar when you are approaching formula, you memorize, you use a formula, but you don't know why you are using that formula and why you are doing all of this. Okay. So yeah, I hope you can get at least a bit of understanding in algebra, that you can solve many things with algebra alone. Okay? And I hope you can try at your home, try to erase it and try if you feel you can. And last question before, try that one also. It's pretty much easier than all of the questions I have given, but it's still algebra. Okay, I think we have done the class today. So thank you for the online students. Okay. I am planning actually to having like a quiz like in October, but I think I will wait for the online students. They come first and we have quiz for the basic math. Okay. The quiz will be only around the functions, quadratic functions, and later I will going deep into polynomial. I think those three, just those three, the quiz, the first quiz. But if we are still having time, I will continue to the next section. But the first quiz still those three chapters. Okay, the functions, quadratic functions, and the polynomials.